find your voice. To do that, you have to first find yourself. I chose build a boat because sometimes you have to build your own boat. And let's talk about that. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Finding your voice isn't just about sharing a story or singing. That guy back there with the camera can sing. I cannot. So my voice is about hearing who I am and standing up for myself. How many of you stand up for yourself? You see, you don't have because you don't ask. You don't ask, you don't get. How many of you want more in life? How many of you want more for yourself? I am a Christian. I believe that every word, every letter in the Bible, from the beginning of Genesis to the very last period, exclamation mark, quotation mark, whatever, in Revelation is true. But if you're not, these stories will still resonate with you. First person I'm going to talk about is Moses. He found his voice. Not only did he find his voice, he said, "Why me?" And because he had a stuttering problem, God found somebody to speak for him through Aaron. But he found his voice, and what did he do? He freed the Hebrews. He freed them. Second person was Joseph. I always think of Joseph in the coat of many colors. But the thing that Joseph did, he suffered. He was imprisoned. He was the most loved by his father. So therefore, he was hated by his siblings. Did he have a voice? Could he have stood up for himself? He didn't know what was coming. It took incarceration to find what his gift was, to share his voice, to save the kingdom from famine. Are you ready to save yourself from famine? Because you're the only one that has your story that can change it, that can change where you're at to where you're going. Did you hear me? Change where you're at to where you're going. That means you have your own superpower. If you don't have your own superpower, what are you going to be? You're going to be stuck. How many of you like to watch TV? I do. There's a time and place for it. But how many of you guys would rather sit on that couch and not change your circumstances? You see this up here? These signs? If you look at the top, that spells creed. Do you know what that is? It is BLN's creed. It is JR's things that he stands by. So to tell your story, to find your voice, you first have to commit. You have to commit to yourself. Number one, you matter, that you have a value and a purpose. And when you commit to that change, to sharing who you are, standing up for yourself, guess what's going to happen? You're stepping forward. You're getting ready to share who you are with the world. And when you step forward, that means, what does that mean? What's it mean? You're standing up for yourself. Now keep thinking about that. Resilience, what's that mean? Bounce back. Come back. Don't let it sit on your shoulders and eat you up. Let things go. Don't let it bother you. Resilience. Not everything's meant for you. Not every door is for you. Not everybody is going to like you. And that's okay. Then we have execution. Now, I am a professional executioner. That is one of my biggest skill sets. I execute. I also sometimes cut the heads off of problems. I'm a professional executioner. If anybody works with me, they know that. If you don't execute, nothing's going to happen. Did you hear me? Execution is key. Next, we have excellence. If you don't do it in excellence, don't do it at all. Excellence is what you are, which means it's what you do. So if you're not excellent, how are you going to do it? You have to strive to be excellent. People are going to do business with you, not your company. They're hiring you. And the last part of it is discipline. You see, if you don't discipline yourself to commit, to be resilient, to execute, and to be excellent, nothing's going to change. Nothing. So the next person is Mordecai. Mordecai found his voice, shared it with Esther, and Esther found her voice through Mordecai. And she saved the entire Jews from what? Death. Because she stood up. She stood up. How many of you guys stand up for yourselves? Then we have Noah. Let's talk about Noah. So we always think about the animals 2 by 2, right? Has anybody been to the Ark in Ohio? The Ark Encounter? Fantastic, by the way. Noah. We're not going to talk about the flood. We're going to talk about Noah's mindset. Can you imagine the ridicule that he got? People made fun of him. They told him, you're crazy. And he's building this boat for decades, right? Decades. And then what does he do? He shares with his family. He's hearing the word of God. He talks about rain. And these guys are like, you're crazy. What's rain? See, it hadn't rained yet. Hadn't rained yet. They didn't know what it was. So they couldn't understand the concept of flooding. I'm a biologist through schooling. And back then, the earth was watered from the ground. And the dew and the mist. No rain. He stayed course. And he was obedient. He was committed. He was resilient. He didn't let people's opinions or what they say affect him. He executed, right? That ark had to be built in excellence. And then he was disciplined to follow the word of God. Discipline is key. Every board, every plank that he was putting on that ark, he was sharing his voice. And he was giving mankind another chance. How many of you guys give yourself another chance? You guys heard of the 409 story, Formula 409? First one didn't work, second one didn't work, third one didn't work. 409 didn't work until they tested it. 408 didn't work. Who would have quit? 409, they tested it. It worked. How much money did they make? 409 tries. Do you guys give yourselves that kind of another chance? Do you? Or do we quit? We tend to quit. Finding your voice is finding yourself and encouraging yourself to change the way you think. When you change the way you think, you change your actions. When you change your actions, you change your life. What does that look like? It looks like commitment. It looks like resilience. It looks like execution. It looks like excellence. And it looks like discipline. What is your creed? What is your voice saying? What's your voice telling you to do? And my best person was when Jesus said on the cross, "It is finished." He won. He found that voice, didn't he? There was also a young lady. Can you hand me my water back there, Sam? I had cancer in 2011. I don't have any salivary glands. I'm in the worst profession for that. Thank you. Ever heard of Nellie Bly? Anybody heard of her? Female, born in the 1800s. Wanted to be a journalist, but she was a girl. So she didn't get educated. Her brothers got the education. She said, I want to be a journalist. I want to find my voice. What did she do? She goes door knocking, got turned down everywhere she went. You're a girl. She finally goes to New York City. What does she do? She goes to the biggest newspaper place in the town. And the guy said, I see something in you. I'm going to give you a chance. But in order for you to work here, you're going to go over here to this insane asylum for women. You're going to get committed. And you're going to tell me what's going on over there. She had to play that part. You just couldn't walk in. A doctor had to commit you back then. And she had to live that life. Not only did she have to live that life, she almost didn't get out. When she got out, she got the job. And that was the start of undercover journalism. But she took it even further. She raised over $1 million back in the 1800s because the conditions were so bad in there. They're in New York. There was no heat. They had no blankets. They were malnutritioned. She made a difference because she found her voice. My thing that I want you to really focus on is finding your voice to help yourself. Because when you find your voice, you're going to find out that you're going to be successful in business. You're going to be successful at the job that you have. You're going to be successful parents. You can just insert name here. You will be successful. I am a recovering felon. I did 4 years in the feds. And I wasn't young. I walked in at 46 and I walked out at 50 years old. So if I can do this, if I can find my voice, I now speak on stages from Kansas to Kenya, Africa. And I help others find their voice. I help others change their life. Not only do I help them change their life, I help them to help others to make a difference in other people's lives. You're not just touching one. When you're the superhero, when you're that person that changes your own life, you can do anything you want. And what does the Bible tell us? I can do all things through what? And that does mean all things. So I was a believer before I went in. I didn't get saved in prison. It was an eye-opening experience. For me, I was worth, 10, 12 million before I went in. Had everything taken from me. We even had a house fire and lost everything. So when I say I walked out with the clothes on my back, that's exactly what happened. I go into prisons. I teach people about reentry. I help them to change their life because I found my voice. I was embarrassed when I got out. I was ashamed. My name is Brenda Ringwood. Brenda means a fiery sword. What do you think of when you hear fire? Destruction. I had destroyed my life. I had destroyed my family's life. Oh, I thought he was telling me my time's up. I had made a mess. But my middle name is Irene, and that means peace. So where I used to bring destruction, I can now say my fire brings my peace because I found my voice. Now, just finding your voice isn't good enough. You have to share it. Now, I'm going to apologize about this because this is not one of my gifts, but the Lord doesn't tell us that we all have the same gifts. But he does say, make a joyful noise. The singer's back there. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let fear stop me now. I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let doubt dim my light. I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let you control me now. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it. That's what you have to do. And I love the last verse. Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Who wants to find their voice? Who wants to make a difference? Who wants to change their life? If I can do it, get out of the couch, get out of the house, and do something. Right? Everybody do this. I usually bring a crown, and I didn't. I want you to put your crown on your head. I am a child of God, which means I'm royalty, and it gives me the permission to wear the crown, which means you're going to what? You're going to give yourself another chance. You're going to find your voice, and you're going to use it. That's all I got for you.